Uh, were you at all surprised to see your name on that list at number 70? And I mean, that kind of shows that uh, how you're regarded around the NFL. Where do you think you can take your game from here after this?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was surprised at all. I felt like I competed at a high level last year. I think my peers they saw that, and it probably wasn't reflected as much in the awards, I guess you could say, last year when it came to All Pro and those type of things. But obviously, that's all I care about, and continuing to become the best player I can be for this team, so that we can make it back to that game and make sure the outcome how we want it.
Hey, Fred, it's Cam Inman. What's it been like getting back on the field during practices, and just kind of what are the challenges you guys are facing these next 5 weeks, just trying to get ramp up?
It's been great, just having everybody back in the building. It always feels like the first day of school when we come back. Obviously, it's a much more unique situation given the circumstance. Making sure we're protecting ourselves and following all the guidelines. I think everybody's been great about it, though. Just taking it upon ourselves that everybody has their own individual responsibility to make sure that we're keeping things safe. But at the same time, I don't think a lot has changed. I mean, when we get out there, it's all business. We're all hungry to get back at it and get going. So, as the weeks progress, just making sure that, like I said, just trying to keep it as similar as possible and getting work in, not wasting a day.
If Fred, two questions about the lack of a preseason this year. What are your general thoughts about that? And two, specifically about tackling, how do you as a linebacker get your tackling up to standard when you're going to have very little practice at that this summer?
Yeah, for preseason, it is going to be an adjustment. I think the biggest thing with not having preseason games is young guys not being able to get live reps before going into the regular season. It kind of feels like it's like a college feel now. Obviously not having a game and that first time you're in live action is the real thing. So in terms of tackling, like you said, I'm not worried about that one bit. I think the way we practice and we prepare and practice is all you need. We do thump in practice. We're not bringing guys to the ground, but we're working on our technique and tracking, making sure that we're working that technique in practice, so that when we do come to the games, it's all natural.
Hey, Fred, obviously a real key in mitigating the spread of the virus is to make sure guys, when they're outside the facility, follow the basic rules and the rules the NFL has set up. I'm sure the coaches have addressed those type of issues, but as players, particularly the leaders on the team, does that have to be reinforced to some of your teammates, or kind of how are you handling that? Just making sure everyone's doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, everybody is on the same page when it comes to being responsible once we do leave this bubble that we're in at the practice facility. But uh, everybody's a grown man here. I can't babysit anyone, Richard Sherman or anybody else who's a leader on this team. You can't babysit guys once they get out of here. Everybody has their own families and lives they go back to, but everybody understands that what you go home to, you're going to bring back into this bubble once you come to work. And so everybody, like I said before, has that personal responsibility, knowing that you can't miss a day. We are very limited on time right now to get ready for the season, and every day matters. So making sure that not only yourself is available, but protecting the rest of the team.
Hey, Fred, what were some of the biggest challenges for you this offseason, just kind of getting back into your work and doing things given the circumstances? And did you find yourself having to do anything different or maybe a little offbeat that you haven't done in previous off seasons?
Yeah, it was a little different. Luckily where I was training down in Southern California, it stayed open for the most part. There was about a week or two where it got a little hairy, where making sure that we're following the guidelines, they had to shut down for a little bit. So then I'm like, okay, well, where am I going to train next? Like, not wanting to miss a day, but luckily it ended up working out, and everything kind of worked itself out. But I think if anything, it gave more of a reason to just lock into training because there wasn't much else to do. Obviously you're in quarantine and there's not a lot of things to do outside, and just obviously it was just going to training and then going home, going train, go home. So, I got everything I needed out of this offseason.
Fred, this is Chris Biederman with the Sacramento Bee. You guys had your first player opt out last night in Travis Benjamin. I know you can't speak for everybody, and everybody has their own unique circumstances, but what kind of conversations have you had with other guys, whether they be teammates or around the league, about making those decisions, and what do you think factors into that decision?
Yeah, I think it's like we've been talking about. It's just a unique situation, and at the end of the day, everyone wants to play football. I think even guys who do opt out, their true intent is they want to play football, but it's just they have to think about more than just themselves. This coronavirus, there's so much unknown. I mean, every day I feel like I'm learning something new about it. And you turn on the news, and how dangerous is it? And guys have families that they're going home to. Guys have newborns that they just had, and when it comes to family and your children, you don't want to take that risk. And not to say that guys who aren't opting out don't care about their families, but it's just everybody's different. Like you said, everybody's situation is much different. And Travis opting out, I've all the respect in the world for Travis. I trained with him back in Southern California, back when he was with the Chargers, and I have all the respect for him. He's a great player, great person, and him opting out, that's his own decision, and hopefully the coaches respect that. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's just a very unique situation, and everybody's situation is different.
Hey, Fred, it's Tracy Sandler from Fangirl Sports Network. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the new COVID protocols and also what the testing experience has been like for you.
Wait, can you repeat the first part of that question?
If you could talk a little bit about the new protocols with COVID when you're coming in every morning and how it's changed for you.
Oh, yeah. So beforehand, you drive up and you park and you can go straight into the facility and start your day. But now you come in, you got to make sure you're asked the questions about have you been around anybody who's had any of the symptoms? Do you have symptoms currently? Answering those questions honest and truthfully, and then taking your temperature to make sure that you're in the right spot, and then having to go get tested every day. It's this process, so you got to make sure that you're making sure you have enough time to do those things, and then obviously once we get into the facility, things being spaced out and wearing your mask and all these little things, making sure you're wiping down your areas after you're finished sitting there. Everybody feels like they have that individual responsibility to keep things safe.
Hey, Fred, Jennifer Lee Chan. Richard Sherman yesterday kind of talked about how the team with the best adaptability is going to be making it deep into the postseason. What is it about the 49ers and your roster that makes you more easily able to adapt to what's happening, the different circumstances that you're facing this season?
I think Rich hit it on the head with that one. I think it is about adapting, and I think we have one of the best locker rooms, one of the best groups of men in the whole NFL in our building. I feel like everybody understands the situation and is willing to make the sacrifices needed. And like Sherm said, you gotta adapt, and things are gonna change. Things are much different right now than they have been in the past, and I guarantee that things are going to continue to change as the season goes on, and the NFL learns new things, and so you have to adapt to the situation. Possibly not having fans and all these other things come into account. You got to adapt. So I think we're ready for the challenge, and we're going to do whatever we need to do.
Hey, Fred, Kyle Posey from Niners Nation. Can you just talk about your relationship with Kwon Alexander and how it's evolved over the past year?
Yeah, me and Kwon got a great relationship. Since the day he stepped onto this team, I say it all the time, but he brought this swag and this energy to the group and completely transformed not only our linebacker room but the defense. And me and him have grown closer as we've spent more time with each other. And this year, it's kind of crazy because we get out there on that first day of walkthrough, and usually there's a little bit of, trying to work back into things, but we got out there and we're hitting on all cylinders. Just having that year under our belt, being together, Dre included, things just run so much faster, so much smoother, and we're able to set the tone right away. We're all about bringing the juice, bringing the energy, not only to the defense but to the whole team, and we haven't missed a beat with that.
Hola, Fred. Carlos Ramirez from Telemundo, Bay Area, and 49ers Spanish media. How will it affect your game, pros and cons of not having preseason games?
I think not having preseason games, all 32 teams are going to have to adjust. It's not only going to affect the 49ers, but everyone. Like I said before, preseason games are a big chance for some of the younger guys to get those live reps and put it on tape in a live situation, and for older guys to obviously get their feet wet and get ready for the regular season. And so it'll be an adjustment, but I feel like you have a lot more time here at the practice facility to work on your craft and make sure you're in game shape and work on the little things.
Hey Fred. William Hammonds here with Sports Fans Rap. How's it going for you?
Great.
Listen, do you feel you have a greater sense of responsibility related to the rise in the social consciousness and actions that have been taken by professional athletes, some similar to the NBA players and the Major League? Has there been any talk among any of the players about, how you guys might respond to any of this?
It's a great question. I learn more and more every day when it comes to my responsibility in that aspect. This offseason was very eye-opening, given the what's going on in our society right now with social injustices, and inequalities amongst Black. And I feel like in the past I wasn't really subject to that, so I feel like I almost feel like I couldn't speak about it. I didn't have that. I'm tripping over my words right now. Now that I feel like I have a responsibility, it doesn't matter who you are. Having the platform that we have as NFL players, we reach so many different people, and my mission has been to just make sure that people know that you need to treat everyone equal. It doesn't matter who you are, and trying to be more of a face of that. And I feel like we have all the support of our management, and the players are together in it. I know we're going to continue the conversation throughout the season. We're not just going to go back to playing sports and it's just going to go away. So we're going to continue to talk about it, continue to learn. I think that's the biggest thing, is continue to learn. Open your ears, close your mouth, and we'll keep it going.